welcome back. Hi, welcome. Hello, how are you? America. Hello, dear America. Welcome. It is a beautiful name. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome, everyone. How are you all? Comments your beautiful names. Kinga, hi. Welcome. Here is yours. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Iram. How are you? It is a good name. Welcome. Ankita. Hi, dear Ankita. How are you? Here is your good name. Welcome. Hello, dear Azel. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Vera. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Palms. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Divya. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Amira. Here is your good name. How are you? Hey, dear Hania. Here is yours. Thank you so much, dear Ankita. Lots of love. Glad you liked it, dear. Hi, dear Deegan. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Here is yours. Hi, dear Arshi. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Amanda. How are you? Here is your good name. Welcome. Hi, dear Preetik. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Johnny. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Ty. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Hamna. Here is your beautiful name. are you? Hi, dear Vika. Here is yours. Hello, dear. Hi, Ali. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Roland. How are you? Here is your good name. Welcome. Hi, dear Mansoor. Here is your beautiful name. Have a good day. Hi, dear Khushi. Here is yours. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Hi, dear Nastay. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Jindroy. Here is yours. Hi, dear Kesra. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Nora. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Ona. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Tonu. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Nadra. Is your name not Nora? Okay, Nora is done. Zoha. Zoha. Hi, dear Zoha. Here is your good name. Urfa. Hey, dear Urfa. Here is yours. Nice meeting you, dear. So good to have you here. Hi, dear Manha. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Abiba. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Ahliya. Ahilya. Here is your good name. How are you? Jack. Welcome back. Here is yours. How are you doing today? Hi, dear Taha. Here is yours. Hello, dear Salim. Here is your good name. Merhaba. Hey, dear Karen. Here is yours. How are you? Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Great. Oh, so good to know. Noor. Hi, dear Noor. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ayan. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Sigma. Okay. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ali. Here is yours. Hey, dear Hoor. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Danas. Here is yours. Hello, dear Rizwan. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Lisa. Here is yours. Hello, dear. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, lots of love. Hi, dear Usama. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Usman. Here is yours. I really appreciate your love and support, guys. Thank you so much. Hi, dear Brylia. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Vale. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ankita. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Gabriel. Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Nelly. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Leila. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Noor. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, Mira. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hi, dear Lino. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Ayan. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Muhlisa. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Zoya. Here is yours. Welcome, dear Zoya. How are you? Hey, dear Shiza. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Cynthia. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Leela. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Hope. It's your Hope J. Hope. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Sahib. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, Darshu. Welcome back. You are the cutest, dear. How are you doing today? Welcome. Hello, dear Hazel. Here is your good name. How are you? Hello, dear Hassan. Here is yours. Welcome. Here is a good name. Hello, dear Andy. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Vivek. Here is yours. Hi, dear Irha. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Arya. Here is yours. Hello, dear Hajra. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Mulisa. Here is yours. How are you? You have such a unique name, dear. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens. Akshaya, hi. Let's write Akshaya. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Nanika. Here is yours. Beautiful name. Hey, dear Sage. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Celine. Yegas, merhaba. Here is yours. Hey, dear Yegas. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Cian. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Email. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Hunter. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear. You are from Uzbekistan. Oh, so good to know, dear. Hi, dear Faiza. Here is your good name. How to say hello in Uzbekistani language? Hello, dear Aya. Here is yours. Hi, dear Hafsa. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear guys. Don't forget to press the subscribe button. Farhan. Hi, Farhan. Welcome. Hello, dear Bartho. Oh, is this your name? Bartholmew. It is yours. Very good. Thank you. Hi, dear Manan. Here is yours. Hello, dear Ocean. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Adya. Welcome back. How are you, dear Adya? Here is yours. Hi, dear Maz. Here is yours. Hello, dear Cherish One. Oh, wow. What a unique name you have. Cherish One. Here is yours. Your voice is so good. Thank you so much, dear. Lots of love. Hey, dear Amran. Here is your good name. Hi, dear Pepira. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Alia. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Nancy. Here is your good name. Have a good day. Hi, dear Lovely. Here is your beautiful name. Thank you so much, dear. Hello, dear Roshan. Glad you liked it. Very appreciative. Hi, Roshan. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Let's see who is next. Asto. Hi, dear Asto. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Nisthajita. Oh, wow. Nisthajita. What a unique name you have. Where are you from, dear? Let's see who is next. Furry. Hi, dear Furry. Here is a good name. Hi, dear Aileen. Here is a good name. Let's see who's gonna be the 30 liker. Guys, don't stop double tapping, please. Hi, Drar. Welcome back. How are you? Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Floyd. Here is yours. Hey, dear Irene. Here is yours. Hi, welcome. Hello, dear Maya. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Amul Bhai is busy on. I think he is busy in his exams, so that's why he didn't came. Hi, Emma. Welcome. Hi, dear Anuka. Here is your good name. How are you? You're most welcome, Vaishnavi. Hi, Vaishnavi. Welcome back. How are you doing? Here is a good name. Hello, dear Emily. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Zayla. Here is yours. Hello, dear. Thanks. You're most welcome, dear. Shinju. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Let me drink some water. Alia is done. Harim done. Siam. Hi, Siam. Welcome. Here is yours. Welcome back. My name is Gabriella. Hi, Gabriella. How are you doing today? Here is yours. Welcome. Here is your beautiful name. Tayyab. Hi, Tayyab. How are you? Here is your beautiful name. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Don't forget to double tap on your screens. Hi, Ola. Ola. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ananya. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear. Huh? Ayubhin. What is your good name? Belini. Hi, dear Belini. Here is yours. Welcome. Arya. Hi, dear Arya. Here is your good name. Hello, dear Rita. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Okay, Oi Pen. What a unique name you have. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Let me check Dilnura. Hi, dear Dilnura. Here is your good name. Hi, welcome. Hey, dear Aftab. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Priya. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Roa. Here is yours. Hi, dear Nabiha. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Hope. It's your Hope J. Hope. Welcome. Here is yours, Yadav. Okay. Here is your good name. How are you? Hey, dear Sitora. Here is yours. How are you? Oh my god, I can't understand this language. What is your good name? Linda. Hi, Linda. How are you? You're most welcome, dear. Hello, dear Heatart. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Notion. Here is yours. What is the meaning of RCB? Hi, dear Khadija. Okay, here is yours. Hello, dear Umar. Here is a good name. Hi, dear. Okay, let's try Priya Yadav for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Sonakshi, hi Sonakshi, welcome. Sonakshi, here is yours. Hi, dear Amelia. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? You're most welcome, dear. Thank you. Hi, dear Safa. Here is yours. Hello, dear Firdaus. With VS or with US? Okay, Firdaus is here. Hi, Firdaus. Welcome. Sweetie. Hi, sweetie. Welcome. Here is a beautiful name. Yashwa. Hi, Yashwa. Welcome. How are you? Here is a good name. Hi, dear Mehvish. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Ayush. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Hello, dear. Are, you're most welcome. Akshita. Hi, dear Akshita. Here is yours. अक्षिता है और मैंने अक्षिता लिख दिया है. No, it's good. Hey, dear Azra. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Duru. Here is yours. Hello, dear Megan. Here is a good name. You're most welcome, dear. Thank you. Hi, dear Koi. Here is yours. You're most welcome. Let's write Hazel. Hi, dear Hazel. Here is yours. Hello, dear Aradhya. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Murtaza. Here is yours. Hi, dear. Okay. Famila. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Happy. Here is yours. Let's see who is next. Oh, Kaylee. Welcome back. How are you doing today? It is a good name, dear. And if you want, hi Shahnaz, welcome. Just give her 1 minute, guys. She is taking screenshot. Shahnaz, Shafia, Arushe. Hello, dear Shahnaz. Here is yours. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I'm your friend. Thank you. Hi, dear Numan. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ace. Here is yours. Hello, dear Shafia. Here is your good name. How are you? Hi, dear Arushe. Here is yours. With double E. Hello, dear Luna. Here is your good name. Hi, dear My girl, here is yours. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Arman, hi Arman, welcome. Here is yours. Hello, dear Chitrakshi. Hi Chitrakshi. Here is a good name, dear. Hello, dear he. Here is yours. Hi, dear Lakshmi. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Hello, dear Sigdam. Here is yours. What a unique name you have, guys. Double tap on your screens. If your name got done, please don't forget to press the like and subscribe button. Hi, Kunjan. Welcome. How are you? Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Annie. Here is yours. Hello, dear Ron. Here is yours. Hi, dear Selin. Here is your beautiful name. Hey, dear. What is yours? Hadi. Here is yours. Hello, dear Asmita. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, Joylyn. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Isma. Thank you so much for subscribing. It is a good name. Hey, dear Annie. Here is yours. Hi, Sakin. How are you? It is a good name. Welcome. Hello, dear, and other Emmy we have. Welcome. Here is yours. Hi, dear Lail. It is a good name. Hello, dear Nabil. Okay. Here is yours. Hi, dear Nemo. It is a good name. Hi, dear Archie. Here is yours. How are you? Hi, dear Naya. Here is yours. Hello, dear. I can't understand this language. What is the meaning of this, dear? Hi. Here is yours, dear Corday. Why I write K instead of D? Mediha. Hi, Mediha. Welcome. How are you? You. What's a good name? You. Carp. Hi. Here is yours. Okay, don't write your names in paragraphs. I am writing each of every name, so please don't write your names in paragraphs. Hi, Sehaj. Here is yours. Welcome. Zoe. Hi, Zoe. Welcome. Amina. Hi, Amina. Here is a beautiful name. Esme. Hey, dear Esme. Here is yours. I am doing good. How about you? Kia. Hi, Kia. Welcome. Hello, dear Afaf. Here is yours, guys. Don't stop double tapping if your name got done here. So you have to double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button right there. Right there. Waiting for your finger press. Hi, Paulina. How are you? Welcome. Here is yours. Hi, dear Lino. Thank you so much, dear Lino. Here is yours. Hi, dear Walter. Why, dear Deepa? Here is yours. How are you? Hey, dear Aisha. Here is your beautiful name. Hello, dear Voilin. Here is yours. Hi, dear Mahdi. Here is your beautiful name. Don't use too much emojis. Melissa, your name is Tom. Why are you so angry, dear? Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Then skip now. Skip, dear Diva, if you don't like Tommy. Hi, dear Tommy. Here is yours. Rose. Hi, dear Rose. Here is yours. Hi, dear Mikey. It is a good name. Rahul. Hi, dear Rahul. Here is yours. Hey, dear. Oh my god. Dana and Dana. Here is a beautiful name. Let's see who is next, dear. Valia. Valia. Hi. Vilaya. No, I'm not from Karachi. Vilaya. Here is yours. How are you? Melissa, don't do this, dear. Okay. Hi, dear Iman. Here is yours. Hi, dear Ajmal. Here is a beautiful name. How are you? Hey, dear Steven. Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Zanera. Here is yours. How are you? Hello, dear Bahlil. Here is yours. Hello, dear William. Here is your beautiful name. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screen. Subhan. Hi, Subhan. Welcome. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, dear Manu. Here is yours. Hi, dear Insaf. Here is your beautiful name. Let's see who is next. Next, next, next. Next, next, next. Next, next, next. Prabovo. Okay. Thank you so much for subscribing. Here is a beautiful name. How are you? Hi, dear Ruhani. Here is yours. Welcome. Hello, dear Selma. How are you? Here is yours. Petro. Why not, dear Petro? Here is a good name. Hi, dear Joylyn. Here is yours. Welcome back. How are you? Let's see who is next. Hi, welcome back, Prab. How are you doing today? कैसे हो? Here is a beautiful name. Thank you so much for joining. Jacoby. Okay, dear Jacoby, how are you? Nice. So good to have you here again. Thank you so much for joining. Here is a good name. Naima. Hi, Naima. Welcome. How are you? वालेकुम सलाम सभी. हाँ जी रोज आते हैं. कैसे हो आप? Here is yours. जी जी रोज आते हैं हम लाइव रोज. Maisa. Hi Maisa. Here is yours. Anjali. Hi Anjali. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. हाँ मैं भी ठीक हूँ. शुक्र है अल्लाह का. आप बताएं. आप आप एक्टिव नहीं लग रही हैं. मैं तो एक्टिव हूँ भाई. की हूँ. फिर दोबारा गर्मी होने लग गई है ना, इसलिए थोड़ी सी डाउन डाउन आवाज़ आ रही होगी आपको. रोनाल्डो फिर से. Hi dear Ronaldo, here is yours. Hello dear Ansu, here is your beautiful name. How are you? Right. आपके उधर भी गर्मी पड़ी है ना? Hi dear Ola, here is yours. Please double tap on your screens. हाँ, but आप दूसरे वाले से हो ना? Miriam, here is yours. How are you? Hi dear phone, here is yours. Hello dear Pihu, here is a beautiful name. सुब्गा जी चले गए हो? Dhara, hi Dhara, how are you? Here is a beautiful name. Hi dear Mahin, here is yours. अच्छा आप भी करते हो? किस टाइम करते हो बताओ? Leela, hi Leela, welcome. Aiza, hi dear Aiza, here is a good name. Hello dear Mihu, here is yours. Huram, welcome back Huram. Here is yours. Guys, double tap on your screens. Let's see who's gonna be the 50 liker. Hari. Elna. Hi Elna, welcome. How are you? Zian. Why not dear Zian? Here is a good name. How are you? Hi dear Iman. अभी भी लिखा था वही वाले हो या फिर डिफरेंट हो? Here is yours. Hi dear Amara. Here is your beautiful name. Welcome. Hi dear Cotton. Huh? What a unique name you have. Here is yours. Hi dear Shano. Here is your beautiful name. Zoya. Here is yours. Hi dear Iris. Here is your beautiful name. Hey dear Dalton. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, dear Dalton. Lots of love. Lots of love. Here is yours. एंड एक रिक्वेस्ट, मुझे लगता है शायद पिछले वाला कमेंट मिस हो गया है. क्या कमेंट किया था आपने? मैंने टाइम पूछा था वो वाला. रानिया, हाय रानिया, वेलकम. लूना, हाय लूना. हियर इज योर्स. अरे अरे फारिया, थैंक यू. थम जाओ इतने सारे इमोजीज एक साथ ही. फारिया, थैंक यू सो मच. लेट्स राइट मोहम्मद. Here is yours. Hello, dear Ever. It is a good name. Alexa. Hi, Alexa. How are you? Hello, dear Alina. Here is yours. Let's see who is next, dear. पर अब मुझे लगता है आपका कमेंट मिस हो गया है. क्या लिखा है? दोबारा से बता दो एक दफ़ा. Danu. Hi, Danu. Welcome. Sabira. Hi, dear Sabira. Here is a beautiful name. Hi. Array, thank you. Glad you liked it, dear. Let's see who is next. Hajra. Hi, dear Hajra. Here is your beautiful name. Hi, Ever. Where are you from? Merhaba, Nielsen. Let's try Jungkook for you. Dear Army, here is yours. Osana. Hi, welcome. Osana? Can you please confirm your spelling, dear? Mahin. Hi, Mahin. Here is yours. Hello, dear Humaira. How are you, Dr. Saab? कैसे हो आप? Here is yours. Okay, Ever. Fine, now, dear. Fine, Alhamdulillah. Ah, good to hear. Osana. Okay, Osana. Welcome. Here is your beautiful name. You have such a unique name. Hi, Tasneem. Welcome. How are you? Here is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Paru. Here is yours. How are you? Mars. Hi, Mars. Welcome. Here is a good name. You're most welcome, dear. Zainab. Hi, Zainab. Here is yours. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Myra. Hello, dear Myra. How are you? Amina with double A. Here is yours. You're most welcome, dear. थैंक यू जी मैंने आपको लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब है एक मिनट ठहरो मैं पढ़ूँ क्या लिखा है कर ली और मैं भी कर लो एंड आई हैव अ रिक्वेस्ट एक बार पंजाबी में बात करो क्या बोलूँ पंजाबी में मुझसे क्वेश्चन पूछो मैं उसका आंसर देती हूँ ठीक है हाय आहद वेलकम हाउ आर यू हेलो डियर अज़मा हियर इज़ योर ब्यूटीफुल नेम हाउ आर यू हाय डियर Layana. Here is yours. Welcome. Hi, dear Naida. Here is a good name. Nashra. Hi. Welcome. Hi, dear Ada. It is a good name. Thierry. Welcome back. Here is a good name. Nayara. Hi, Nayara. Welcome, dear. Hadi. Hi, Hadi. Do you know how to speak Assamese language? No, I don't know, dear. Hello, dear. Hi, Amara. Here is yours. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens and there is a subscribe button. Waiting for your finger press. Walaikum salam. Yashi. Hi, dear Yashi. Welcome. Okay, let's try Krishna for you. Amna. Hi, Amna. Welcome. Margareta. Here is yours. Hello, dear Zen. It is a beautiful name. Hi, dear Vanshika. It is a beautiful name. Prab, how you gone? ला ਲੈ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨ ਰਹੇ ਮੰਨ ਰਹੀ ਹੋ ਨਾ ਦੱਸੋ ਸਹੀ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ Gracie hi Gracie here is yours hello dear Nilan it is a good name hello dear Adasia here is yours Kunish hi Kunish don't forget to like and subscribe Ahmed hi Ahmed welcome. How are you? Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining. कौन आया है नया देखते हैं मैंने आपको कमेंट किया था उसका आंसर पंजाबी में दो पंजाबी में ही दिया था मैंने आमना हाय आमना वेलकम अरे अभी भी मैंने आमना ही लिखा था है ना जोया हाय जोया it is yours Kate hey dear Kate welcome it is a good name why not dear Kate here is yours Alshad. Hi, Alshad. Here is yours. Guys, don't forget to double tap on your screens. Alana. Okay. It is yours. Mariam. Marisa. Hi, dear Marisa. Here is yours. Mina. Thank you so much, Mina, for subscribing. It is your beautiful name. कैसे हो आप? Hi. अरे अरे जैनब लिखना था मैं भूल गई हूँ जैनब सुल्तान ये सुल्तान के आगे क्या लिखा है भाई तुमने सुल्तान it is yours hi dear Zuni it is a beautiful name Fitro hi welcome Rafif thank you so much for subscribing but don't forget to double tap on your screens double tap like this double tap on your screens like this guys Shabnam hi Shabnam welcome how are you it is a good name हाँ जी प्रभ कौर ने बिल्कुल ठीक दसिया है अली Simana hi Simana welcome how are you Ziyat or Zinat Ziyat here is yours hello dear Dima it is a beautiful name I am doing good मुझे भाई, वेलकम बैक। आपको पता मैसेज आई थी अभी? अभी नहीं, थोड़ी देर पहले। आप तो गायब हो भाई, किधर गायब हो? अच्छा, वहाँ पे मुझे 58 शो हो रहे हैं, यहाँ पे मुझे 57। लाइक नहीं करेगा, मैं जा रही हूँ। बाय बाय। अनाया, हाय अनाया, वेलकम, हाउ आर यू? वाह, 2 से 1 हो गए हैं, वो देखो। आपने किया है ना मुझे भाई? कब आई थी? अकेले अकेले आई और गुम? हाँ, नाम बता के जाओ ना आप। प्रभ नाम बता के जाओ। क्या यही वाला है जो आप जिससे बात कर रहे हो? अगर यही वाला है तो ठीक है, मैं कर लूँगी, बिकॉज इससे आपका कमेंट है ना वहाँ से ओपन हो जाएगा। हाय सगाना, वेलकम। नयारा, हेलो नयारा, हाउ आर यू? शेरिल, हाय शेरिल। हाँ, मैं भी आपको ही कह रही हूँ, मुझे नाम बुला दिया। शेरिल, ये था। हाँ निया। आरब, मुझे क्या पता आप कहाँ गुम थे भाई, ये तो आप बताओगे ना। दुरार आई थी आज अमूल भाई का पूछने, पता है? नीरब, हाय नीरब, डू लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब। नूर, हाय नूर, वेलकम, हाउ आर यू? रुबीना, हाय रुबीना, वेलकम, हाउ आर यू? हाँ जी, हाँ जी। ज़हरा, हाय ज़हरा, हाउ आर यू? राबिया, हेलो राबिया। तो बताया नहीं है आपने, मैंने क्यों बताना था? तो पूछ रही थी अमूल भाई किधर हैं। ओ आज तो जून भी आई थी, पता है? याद आया मुझे एकदम से। हाय यूलिया, हियर इज योर्स। फिर मैंने उसको बोला कि उनके पेपर चल रहे हैं इसलिए वो बिजी हैं। I accidentally left your stream. Hey, welcome back. Zebar, I remember your name. How are you? Hi Sarah. Zebar. It is a good name. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining again. Oh, I am from Utla. अच्छा जी. You're most welcome, dear. Hi, Lina. Here is yours. Don't forget to double tap on your screen, and there is a subscribe button waiting for your finger press. Do you remember me? Yes, Zepar. I do. I do, dear. CAO config ILFHIONN. It's lagging, yeah. अमूल को तो सब आई कह देते हैं। हाँ, लग गया। हाँ, मुझे पता चल गया है, लैग कर बात जा रहे हैं हम। Rida. Oh, it's okay. Don't forget to press the subscribe button and bell icon so you will get notified. किसने बोला? अरे नहीं, इतनी छोटी नहीं हूँ मैं। मेरा तो नाम लिखो। हाय, वेलकम। अभी मैंने आपका ही नहीं लिखा था शायद, वो कोई और सारा थी, है ना? सारा देख लो, मुझे आपका आज भूलना नहीं है, लेकिन स्ट्रीम yeah, I'm not gonna tell the exact number. Laiba, hi Laiba. क्या? इट्स लैगिंग को कहते हैं और लेजेंड की क्या आगे लिखा है? नहीं आपने बस बोला ही था। अच्छा चलो कोई बात नहीं, अब मैंने लिख दिया है ना। नेट नहीं। हाँ वो लैग कर रही है ना थोड़ी। फिर से अटक गया क्या? नहीं आपको यकीन भी है फिर भी मैं नहीं बताऊंगी। हुरिया, हाय हुरिया, आपको बहुत ज़्यादा यकीन है ना? हुरिया आपको नहीं कहा मैंने, ठीक है ना? ये ना हो आप समझ लो, ये मैंने मॉडरेटर को बोला है। हाय वेलकम मनदीप, वेलकम मनदीप, हाउ आर यू? तुसी नाम से पता चलने लग गया मुझे अब कौन कौन पंजाबी है। हाय सृष्टि, वेलकम। हियर इज योर्स, फिर से करी है यार। संडे, हाय हियर इज योर्स। मैंने कल इंस्टा बनाया था, सस्पेंड है, 3-4 अकाउंट बनाए हैं, अभी एक पेंडिंग में है। व्हाट? कैसे सस्पेंड हो गया भाई? क्या किया आपने ऐसा? फॉरेनर अटक रहा है, बहुत बहुत बुरा अटक रहा है भाई। हाँ यार आप लेट्स सी हु इज गोना बी द 70। पता नहीं बनाने के 5 मिनट बाद सस्पेंड एवरी टाइम हैं। ऐसा क्या किया था भाई आपने? हाय वेलकम नवाज, थैंक यू सो मच सिंधी फॉर लाइकिंग। नवाजिश rain, why not? Oh, finally it's in better condition right now. Guys, double tap on your screens and don't forget to press the subscribe button. Let's see who is next, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Seema, hi Seema, welcome. मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया था, बस जब भी बनाता हूँ सिर्फ आपके यहाँ पर विजिट करता हूँ। क्यों भाई? Kartika, hi Kartika. Here is your beautiful name. How are you? Arsalan, hi Arsalan, welcome. How are you? Here is your good name. Melissa is back. Hi Melissa, how are you? और किसी को जानता नहीं हूँ इसलिए। I am fine, good to hear. Fatima, hi Fatima, welcome. Jimmy, hi Jimmy. Here is yours. How are you? Myra, hi dear Myra. Here is a good name. Zoha, hi Zoha. Here is yours. Oh my god, thank you so much. But please don't use too much emojis, dear Faria. मुझे नाम ही नहीं दिखा ध्यान से। Mickey, hi Mickey. Welcome, how are you? It is a good name. Noman, hi Noman. Welcome, how are you? Hamzat, hello Hamzat. Here is yours. Shreya, hi Shreya. वेलकम हियर इज योर्स कंटेंट वाले सब ब्लॉक कर दिए वरना हर वक्त इलाके वाले टपक पड़ते हैं। जीशान, हाय जीशान, वेलकम, हाउ आर यू, हेलो डियर। ये सही था मुझे भाई। चलिए आपके लिए लैला लिख देते हैं। 6 7, ओह वाओ। थैंक यू so much. Now I am going to end the stream. Don't forget to double tap on your, ये देखो limited हो गया जैसे, tap on your screens. Don't forget to press the subscribe button. Don't forget to press the bell icon. से सोना मेरा डाटा मांग रहे हैं, मैंने अब दे दिया है, पेंडिंग है अभी। अच्छा मेरे साथ तो नहीं शुक्र है कभी भी ऐसे हुआ। यास्मीन, हाय यास्मीन, वेलकम। रेडी, हेलो, हाउ आर यू। चलिए फिर अब हम चलते हैं, ठीक है ना। मैंने नहीं देखी आपकी अभी तक आईडी कौन सी है वहाँ पे। मलिक, तो मोहम्मद अली के नाम से तो वैसे भी बहुत सारे हैं ना भाई। आयमा, हाय आयमा, वेलकम, हाउ आर यू। फरा, हाय फरा, हियर इज अ गुड नेम। लेट्स सी हु इज नेक्स्ट। इमोजी मुझे शो ही नहीं हो रहा, ये जो क्लैरिस ने डाला है इमोजी, अगर आपको हो रहा है तो बताओ क्या है। प्रजीत, हाय प्रजीत, शायद मुझे वो क्या होता है। Here is yours. June, welcome back. How are you? जून ये वो समोसे वाले के दोस्त हैं, ये जो मॉडरेटर की आईडी है ना ये। विपिन, हाय विपिन, ये मोस्ट वेलकम, गुड। डबल डबल टैप स्क्रीन लाइक दिस, मैं बताती हूँ कैसे करना है, ऐसे बस इतना सा काम है, ठीक है ना। जल्दी करो सारे। आयशा, हाय आयशा, वेलकम, हाउ आर यू, हियर इज योर्स। मान्या, हाय मान्या, हियर इज अ गुड नेम। कह सकते हैं वैसे, है ना। आप कैसे हो, मैं भी ठीक हूँ, कह सकते हैं मोजिम भाई। मुझे लगता है वो अपने पेपर्स में बिजी हैं, क्योंकि उन्होंने बताया था ना कि अब मुझे मेरे एग्ज़ाम्स आ रहे हैं तो मैं कुछ दिन नहीं आऊँगा शायद, सिस ईयर मे बी, आई थिंक। नहीं नहीं, उनकी फ्रेंड है ये शायद, आपने काउंटिंग की हुई है। समृद्धि, हाय समृद्धि, वेलकम, हाउ आर यू। अमल भाई से बात हुई? नहीं नहीं, शायद वो बिज़ी हैं अपने पेपर्स में ही, जिस वजह से वो आ नहीं रहे, काफ़ी टाइम हो गया है और एक्टिव भी नहीं दिख रहा है कहीं पे मुझे। Here is a good name. How are you? Yildiz. Are you from Turkey, dear? Merhaba. Rudra. Hi Rudra. Welcome. सिर्फ मैंने 10th से शुरू की है, ये 14 का हो सकता है फिर। आपकी काउंटिंग ख़राब नहीं हो सकती कभी, इतना तो यकीन है हमें। लिली, हाय। वो महाराज मुझे रिप्लाई ही नहीं करता, कहाँ दिखा आपको वो। गोजल, हाय गोजल, वेलकम, here is yours. पंकज शर्मा जी, हाय, वेलकम। शर्मा जी, कैसे हैं आप। भाई कहते, हाँ ना। सीक्रेट कोड है उनका शायद, मानू। Hi Manu, welcome. Let's see who is next, guys. चलो अमोई भाई का नाम लिख देते हैं, उनके बारे में इतनी बात कर रहे हैं हम, बड़ी देर हो गई, लिखा भी नहीं मैंने. वेलकम. हाय. Okay, looking for the last name for this stream, which is you have such a unique name, dear. Bye bye. Aisha. Okay, guys, bye bye. Take care.